In this video, I'm doing a commentary on a match between Petko Kostadinov and Frigo. Thank you for joining me. I hope you enjoy this video. Please like and subscribe, and you'll be notified every time I upload a new video. Please let me know what you think in the comments below and what you'd like to see in future videos so I can work on that. My book, Backgammon Backgame Strategies, is available. There's a link in the description to where you can get it. And if you're interested in lessons, please contact me via email. Thank you to my good friends Bill Riles and Tara Mendocino, Ace Point Backgammon, for allowing me to use this video in the commentary. This is a UBC USA match from the 2024 San Antonio, Texas Backgammon Championships. An outstanding event run every year by Bill and Tara in San Antonio, Texas, the weekend of the Super Bowl. Lots of great events and lots of fun activities to do, always held on the weekend of the Super Bowl. So in this format, this is a semifinals. There are 3 matches. Each player gets 1 point for winning the match and 1 point for getting the better PR. So whoever plays better, according to the XG analysis. XG is the strongest backgammon software. So it's best out of 3. So first person to get 4 points wins. So they have to play at least 2 matches, and they're each 7-point matches. They're playing on a beautiful Backgammon Galaxy Earth board. Or this is actually the Monte Carlo board with the Monte Carlo inlay, the green with the orange and white points. First seen in the Backgammon World Championships 2022. The orange and white points represent the colors of the Monaco flag, which are similar to orange and white. So, on the main screen, you can see the board with the names of the players above and below, along with their pip counts and score. My camera is at the upper right. The combined player cam is directly below that, so that's all on one camera. The XG feed is on the lower right. You can see the clock to the right of the screen, and I've enlarged the dice to make it easier to see. And I've also modified it so now the cube is visible. So this is a 7-point match. Frigo and Petko Kostadinov need no introduction to people that are familiar with backgammon. Frank is from San Diego. Actually, I don't know where he's originally from, but now he lives in San Diego. He's won the World Championship 2 times, including the most recent one in 2023. Petko has been a finalist twice, a semifinalist once, one of the top players in the world. Frank is playing the white checkers, the white marble checkers at the bottom. Petko, the black marble checkers at the top. And after some development, this is the first game of a 7-point match. Frank rolls a double 5. So what can he do? He can hit. He can't move the back checker. He's going to make that point, and then for the 4th one, he's just going to bring 1 down. Now Petko has 2 on the bar. He must bring those in first before playing any other checkers. So 5-4, he's forced to bring those 2 checkers in. 1 with the 5, 1 with the 4. Frank rolls a double 2. So when you roll a double, you play it 4 times. So that's 1, 2, 3, and he has 1 more. Best thing to do is to redistribute a spare from the 8 to the 6. That'll give more productive rolls next. Now Petko's on the bar again. He needs a 5, 3, or 2 to enter. He gets a 5, 2, so he can enter with the 2 and hit with the 5. Now Frank is on the bar. He rolls a 6, 5. He cannot come in. That's called dancing, or fanning, or flunking. Now 4, 1 for Petko. So he can bring 1 down and just advance the back checker up. That allows him to pop out with a 6. Six, 2, 2, 6 from the bar. That's a Ray Fogelin. That's what he says. Because usually the 2 is forced to come in from the bar and the 6 is awkward. So with the 6 he has 3 legal options, and that's the best. Now Petko rolls a double 6, so he can hit. He doesn't have to hit with 2 there. What he can do is hit twice. So hit once on the bar point and then make the 2 point on head. and then look for the final one. Looks like the best final one, it would have been, let's see, 11 to 5. That diversifies the builder into the zone. Making the bar point is not critical here because although it does make a prime, oh, he came out, okay. You wanted to hit twice. It does make a prime, but you don't need that if you have 2 on the bar. You can continue that. So 5-2 from the bar, comes in and plays 5 down. Now Petko's looking at doubling. Petko has a nice solid 4 prime with 12 checkers in the zone. So those 3 spares on the 6, 7, and 8 are poised to make another innerboard point. Notice that Frank's back checkers are on the 23 points, so they cannot come out with 6. That's called seeing daylight. So it's going to be hard to escape those back checkers. Frank's also made his ace point, so those 2 checkers are out of play. He's going to have a hard time. Black's winning 73% of the time with 19% gammons. A gammon is when you bear off all your checkers before your opponent bears off a single, and then you get double the stakes. So instead of 1 point, you get 2 points, and if the cube is on 2, instead of 2 points, you get 4 points. On the player cam, you can see Frank is on the right, Petko is on the left. So when you're considering these take-pass decisions, you have to think about what's going to happen. Well, Black's going to try to improve his prime and make a stronger board by making the 4 point or the 3 point and try to escape those back checkers. He does take now 6-5. Comes 16 to 5. Now he has 4 builders to make the 3 and 2 point. Now 3-1. He can make his 5 point. That's a really strong move. Double 1 for Petko. So yeah, use the first 3 and then 7 to 6 brings that builder where you want it. Now Petko's in a commanding position with a 6-5. Frank has to just come in all the way, 13 to 2. 6-3. So he doesn't have a lot to fear by running all the way. It duplicates the ones that hit and the ones that Frank needs to step up to the edge of the prime. Now 4-1. This one he has some choices because he can hit or he can step up to the edge of the prime, both of which would be good. But if he steps up to the edge of the prime, he doesn't have a good 4, so he's going to have to hit and then basically look for the best 4. He can continue, yeah, he can play 8 to 4, that's one of the 4s, and then hit. That's the most reasonable option. Alright, now Petko's on the bar, but it doesn't really matter. Rolls a 2-1, that's a great roll. So he comes in and hits, and here he kind of wants to step up and make that anchor because he has a 3-point board against a 4-point board and he doesn't want to get stuck in a potential hitting exchange. Now Frank's on the bar, 6-1, so the 1 is forced and the 6 he's going to come in. Double 4, great roll for Petko. He's going to come out and then he can bring 2 more out or 1 more out. It doesn't really matter. XG likes bringing 1 all the way to the 10 point. 3-2. So he's going to have to step up with the back checker and then find a 3. The best 3 would be 8 to 5. That brings spares on the 4, 5, and 6 point to aim at the 3 and 2 points. Petko's trying to bring things home. 4-2, he'd like to make his 3 point, but he cannot with this roll. He just plays 11 to 5. 6-5, so he can pop out with the 6, but then it's stuck. The only thing he can do is 8-3 with the 5. Petko's looking to attack. 6-1, he cannot. So he can play all the way behind. Looks like XG preferred 14-7. 6-4 for Frank. So, yep. So he's going to play 6 there, and he can play 6-2 or continue. He does continue. Petko wants to make his 3-point. Double 4. Yep, he's going to make the 3-point and bring 2 down. Looks like it's a little better to keep 1 back. Can't be hit. 6-1, there's no 1, so he plays 4-3. Now 4-1 for Petko. Just plays behind, makes his board. Frank's going to need some 5s. He gets double 5. That's great. When you roll a double, you play it 4 times, and he runs all the way. Now the race is close. He may have some racing chances. 6-5. He's going to bring 2 checkers in. Two 1 for Frank. He gets 2 crossovers. Now double 3 for Frank. He brings in 2 checkers. Petko still has a big lead in this race. 5-4. He's going to bear off 2 checkers. Once each player brings all their checkers into their inner board, like has been done here, they start bearing them off based on the rolls that they get. So with the 5-2, he bears off 2 checkers. 3-1, bears off 2 checkers. Now it's a race. I say backgammon is easy to learn but hard to master. The winner is the one who bears off faster. The winner will get 2 points here and get to 2. 2-0. Frank's going to need good rolls. So this is a 7-point match. The score is 0-0. That's the absolute score. But the away score is more important. The reason is because in this case it's a 7-point match, so the goal is to get to 7 points. You don't need 8, 9, 10 or anything like that. That's too much. That's overage and that's called wasteful. So the more important number is how many checkers you need, how far away you are from the goal. So currently at 0, each player is 7 away from the goal of getting to 7. So it's 7 away, 7 away. When one player gets to 2-0, the player with an absolute score of 2 will have 5 away. It will be 2 out of 7, which is 5 away from the goal. And the opponent will be 7 away. So it will be 5 away, 7 away. In general, it's more valuable to be at an even away score because then you can win the match perfectly with a gammon on a single cube, on a center cube, or a single win on a double. Alright, so Frank's going to need to bear off 2 checkers and hope that Petko rolls an ace. Or he can win with a double 3 or higher. 3-2. He bears off 1 now. As long as Petko doesn't roll an ace, he wins. No, he does roll the ace. So Frank ends up getting that point after being behind in the race so far. So now Frank goes up 2-0. 5 away, 7 away. This is the first of 3 matches. If you've never played on one of these boards, it's just a pleasure to play on. They're designed so they're not too far from one end to the other end. That makes them smaller, more lightweight, and easy to travel. And it's easy to reach the other side of the board. So 5-4, he splits. Now Petko rolls a double 6. That's a great roll. Makes him a clear favorite. Makes both bar points. The bar point is the point next to the bar. That's why it's called the bar point. It's also called the 7 point. Now with a 6-3, So he can play 13 to 4. He really wants to get out of harm's way off the 20 point. Now Petko is looking to double. Petko has a solid position here. He has both bar points. He has 10 checkers in the zone looking to attack. He does have a good anchor on the 18 point, whereas Frank, despite being only behind by 6 pips in the race, has 3 blots and is susceptible to attack. It's a small double, but he correctly takes. Now with the 5-1, he's going to hit loose, try to fight for those high inner board points, and that gives the added benefit of unstacking the 6 points. Now he's looking at possibly hitting twice or bringing a checker down. He correctly brings the checker down. Now Frank's on the bar. He's looking for a 5. No, he gets a 6-2. 2-6 from the bar. Another Ray Fogelin. Now he has a lot of blots everywhere, and Petko's looking to attack. 4-3, so he's going to cover with the 3. And he can attack by hitting loose with 6-2. But better is just to bring one down. He's not afraid of leaving blots. It does also slot the back of the prime. So Frank rolls a 6-1. So this is interesting because he can hit with 24 to 16, which turns out to be the best play. However, he already has 4 blots, and that's going to leave 4 blots around the board with 2 for Petko to shoot at with a stronger board, a 2-point board versus a 1-point board, and a solid 4 prime with the back of the prime slotted. Well, it won't be slotted anymore. Or he can play safe somehow. He can hit there and cover the 2-point. That's safer, but looks like it's better to hit on the outside. Now Petko's on the bar. He rolls a 5-3, so he can cover with the 3 and hit with the 5. Nice play. That sends a 3rd checker back. Frank's looking for something good. 5-2. So the 2 is forced. And the 5, there are 3 legal options. 13 to 8 doesn't do anything. 6-1 at least unstacks. Looks like the best one was 8-3. Now double 1 for Petko. So he can hit, but then what? Looks like it's far superior to make the 4-point by using all 4 of them like that. That makes a solid 5 prime, which acts as a phantom 6 prime because the back checkers are not at the edge. Doesn't really need to send another checker back. Alright, now Frank's on the bar. 6-5, he dances, he can't come in. Now Petko's looking to make another innerboard point with a 4-1. That's perfect. He makes the 4-point and a solid 5 prime. Frank's still on the bar. 6-4 again. He dances. Petko's looking to make his 3-point. He rolls a double 1. So he's going to bring him in. Turns out to be best to slot it because he's not afraid of being hit. Another 2-6 from the bar. He's forced to come in. Now Petko's winning 87% of the time with 51% gammons. So he can play 8-2. His structure is not good for a back game, but that's the best plan right now. 3-1. So he can come in and hit. He can hit with the 1 by coming in. He can come in with a 3 and hit 13 to 12. Or he can hit twice by coming in and hitting with the ace and then hitting behind the anchor. That prevents Frank from making a second anchor, which is very strong. It's not going to make him a favorite, but it's much stronger to have 2 anchors than a single one. 2-1, so he comes in with both. 5-4. So he can hit behind. This is thematic in these types of games. Comes in with the 5 and he's looking to play 13-9 with the 4. When you have these, it's thematic to hit loose behind the anchors or between anchors. Some of the things I learned when studying back games. 5-1. So he's going to hit loose. Now 3-2. So the 3 is forced. And he can hit 20-18. It does give Frank some timing in the form of a racing deficit, but he's lacking mobility because he has all those checkers stuck behind the 5 prime. That's what you want to do. Try to make the front structure crack by keeping those back checkers in place. Another 2-6 from the bar. So the 2 is forced, and he's going to have to come out with the 6. Otherwise, he's going to lack mobility. He'd like to keep that 22-point slotted to possibly make it, but just can't afford it right now. 6-4, so he comes in with the 4 and hits another checker back. Just trying to send more and more checkers back and collapse Frank's front structure. Double 2, okay, so 1, and he'd like to advance that one, but then he doesn't have 2 more. 3, he's going to hit. Now he doesn't have a good final one. Looks like it's better to just make the 4-point and keep that back checker back. These are very difficult. That solid 5 prime for Petko is really doing its job. The goal against the back game is to create a prime to make a wedge between the 2 halves of the army. That was described by Walter Trice in Backgammon Boot Camp. 6-2, so he's going to have to go out. And the best thing he can do after that with the 2 is to just make that 14-point anchor. One of the things that makes Frank an outstanding player is that he's very deliberate. He looks at everything, makes sure he doesn't miss anything. 3-2. Some of the most common errors are when you don't even see the right move. So it's important to look at everything. Another thing you can do is if part of the move is forced, you play that first. Like 3-2, the 3 is forced, and now look for the 2. So he can continue. Looks like all the plays are close. He can play 12-10. He can make that anchor on the 20-point, which is nice because it prevents Frank from making the 5-point. Though it looks like it was a little better to come out with 20-18. Another 6-2 for Frank. So he can't move the back checker. So the 6 he's going to have to play down, and with the 2 he can bring a spare checker from the 8 to the 6, but that does leave a direct ace shot. Looks like it's better to play to the 12-point and leave only indirect shots, 7s and 9s. Petko rolls a 2-1, so he's able to hit. So hit, and then he just continues to slot the back of the prime. Part of the reason why the hit is good is because you don't want Petko doesn't want Frank to use that checker to build his board. Just like that, 5-2. So the 2 is forced, and he's going to have to play on his side. Now his board is starting to crunch. That's what you do against these deep anchor games, whether it's a double anchor or a single anchor. He's going to have to play safe. Now while Petko is bringing his checkers around, Frank's board is going to collapse. 4-1. He hits another one, so that prevents Frank from making his 4-point. And with the 4, he escapes. Frank's on the bar again. 6-4, he dances. Petko's looking to bring things around. Now he rolls a 6-5. Oh, it looks like it's better to just make the 3-point. 4-3, so the 3 is forced, and he's got to play 8-4. That's actually good for Petko. He rolls a 5-2, so the 5 is forced, and it doesn't really matter. He can just go there, 16-14. Now Frank is trapped. 6-4, that's completely forced. So now the checkers are dumped. Okay. Three 3-1. Hits loose and hits another one. Now Petko's winning backgammons almost 10% of the time. 6-1, he's going to make the board. (5-4), Frank dances. 5-2, he's going to come into the 6-point. 2-6 from the bar again, that's completely forced. He just comes in with a 2. 6-1. Comes all the way around to the 12-point. Double 1 for Frank, so he's just going to bring all his checkers deep. Now what happens is even if Frank hits a shot, he's going to have no forward structure to prime or contain Petko. 4-2, he cannot move. 6-5, he's going to play safe. 9-3, and then play behind. 4-1, he just has a 1 to play. 6-5, that's a bad roll. So the 6 is forced, and the 5, he doesn't have a spare checker, so he leaves a double shot. Now Frank's looking to hit with a 6 or 5. Double 5, that's a great roll. He brings 2 immediately. Then he has 2 more to play. So he can play a third one out. He still has 6 checkers there, so now he has 5 checkers on the 23-point. Looks like he's just going to have to bring another one out. That saves some gammons. 4-2, so he comes in with the 4 and he safeties the 2. Another 6-2. It's almost like he's rolling nothing but 6-2s today. 6-1, so the 6 he goes there, and the 1 he just plays inside so as not to give him a double direct shot. 3-2 for Frank. Can't hit, unfortunately. He can just make a blocking point, try to make his double 4s and double 2s play bad. He rolls a 3-2, he's going to come all the way around. Frank's looking for a 3 here to hit. He gets a 2-1, that hits, so Petko can hit back with a double 5 from the bar. No, he gets a 6-4. The 6 is forced, and he's going to play the 4 out, of course. 5-1, so Frank can hit with the 5 and find an ace. Well, it looks like he's not seeing the 5. He's just playing safe. That was an oversight. 4-2. Sometimes even if you spend a long time looking at things, sometimes you miss things. 3-1 for Frank. Now 5-4, he's just going to bear it off. And Frank's looking to cruise home to win a gammon. Petko is. 5-3. Frank's just trying to get crossovers to save a gammon. A crossover is when you move a checker from one quadrant of the board, like the top right, to the next quadrant of the board, the lower right in this case, which is from Petko's outer board to Frank's outer board. That was cocked. 5-4. He's going to make his 6 point. You want to bring all of them in perfectly to try to save that gammon. The 6 is forced, and the 1 he's just going to clear. Double 1 for Frank. He's going to get crossovers, and you want to spread out your checkers too. 3-1. Bears off a checker, and now he's looking to either play 5-4, which maximizes flexibility, or 1 off. It looks like it's better to take 1 off. You win some more gammons. Double 4 for Frank. So 1, 2, and he can bring another one in perfectly, or bring 2 down. They're close. 6-2, so the 6 is forced, and the 2 he'll play from 3-1. Frank's trying to save a gammon, or at least build a board to try to make a board to hit a shot. 3-1, he's going to bear off a checker off the 4 point. Now, next, Petko can leave shots with 6-3, 5-3, double shots for that matter. 2-1, he's going to play 12-9. 4-3, that's a good roll. He can safely clear his 4 point. Frank's looking to make his 5 point. He can with the 6-5, and he can get 2 crossovers. He's going to want to stay back in case Frank rolls a 6-3, 5-3, or 4-3, which would be his worst. 5-1, so the 5 is forced, and he's going to bear off another checker. That's going to win more backgammons, which are very valuable because they get you to the Crawford game. Double 4. So he's going to come out with 1. Probably come in perfectly. 2, that's a second crossover. 3, get a third crossover, and the final one, bring 1 in to the 6 point for perfect. If Petko bears off all his checkers while Frank still has a checker in Petko's board, that's called the backgammon, and then you win triple the stakes. So he plays the 2 first and then the 4 off. That is legal. So that would be 6 points. 6-5. He's just going to try to run off the gammon here. And with that roll, he has decent chances. It's almost 50-50. 6-4 bears off 2 checkers. Now Frank's looking to save that gammon. 5-1, he brings 1 all the way down. 5-4 bears off 2 checkers. Now Frank's going to need something good. 4-2, he doesn't get it. So Petko does win the gammon. So the Crawford rule in a match was named after John Crawford, who wrote the Backgammon book with Oswald Jacoby, 2 of the great players in the history of backgammon. It states that when one player gets to 1 point of winning the match, there is no doubling for 1 game. So in this match, the match is to 7. So when one player gets to 6, there is no doubling for 1 game. That gives the leader a little bit of a cushion. After that game, after the Crawford game, the trailer can double at his first opportunity. So now trailing with a 3-2, he brings 2 down. You have to play more aggressive when you're trailing in a match. Double 1 for Petko. Makes his 5 point and makes his bar point. Nice blocking structure. 5-3 for Frank. He can make his 5 point. Now 4-3. So he's going to bring that down, and he can split. He can play to 5. That's the safe play. Looks like it was okay to come out and bring 2 down. 4-1, he's going to make the bar point. Now 3-2 for Petko. He's going to make his 3 point. It does leave a flat structure without spares. Double 5 for Frank. So it's some good, some bad. It does move a lot of freight, but those 2 back checkers, 2 lonely orphans, are going to have a hard time coming home. Now 5-3. So he can bring one down. And look at that. It's best to make the 4-point, leaving a direct shot, a 6 or a 5-1. Because otherwise, if Frank misses, Petko will have a good opportunity to make a nice solid prime. He's not going to want to touch his back checker because Frank has a lot of checkers in the zone. He's looking at bringing 13-5. Prime versus prime positions are some of the most difficult ones to play. So he does bring 2 down. Frank's looking to come out and hit or roll something good. 4-2, that's productive. Makes his 4-point. Solid 5 prime, unstacks his 6-point. 6-5. Alright, so now both players have a solid 5 prime. What happens in these positions is it becomes about timing. 6-2, so the 6 is forced. So now Petko is behind in the race, which is a good thing in prime versus prime positions. So 5-1, that's good. He makes a solid prime, and now he splits the back checkers. Now Petko has a strong position. Okay, so double 2. So anytime you roll doubles, pause and take a breath and look at all your options, because usually there are many more productive options with a double than with a non-double. So he hits, and he can make the 4-point on head, the 2-point on head, so that's the second one, or he can hit another one loose, which is not the right idea. He just has to make the 2-point on head and hope that Petko comes in with a 1 and crunches his structure. Yeah, he's looking at hitting loose twice, because if he does get hit... Alright, so now Petko doubles. It turns out this is too good to double, and a big pass. You just look into the future, and Frank's going to crash. He's going to crunch his board. So Frank passes. Petko goes to 5. 5-2. 2 away, 5 away. 2 away is a valuable score. Oftentimes the trailer doubles pretty aggressively when the opponent is 2 away. And that kills the cube. So the leader may not redouble. 5-2. He plays aggressive, bringing 2 down. There is a value of cube ownership, and because you can redouble. So here the best play is just bringing 2 up and making the 4-point. He goes all the way up. That's a gammon save play. 6-1. Just going to have to play behind, or he can make his bar point. The 2 plays are close. 6-3. That's a good roll because he can abandon the anchor, hit, and escape 1 checker all the way out. That's what he does. Another 2-6 from the bar. So the 2 is forced and the 6 is going to come out. At 2 away, one of the strategies is to win an undoubled gammon, a natural gammon, which is allowed in a match. In a money game, the Jacoby rule, named after Oswald Jacoby, states that gammons and backgammons do not count unless the cube has been turned, but that's not the case in a match. So he can win an undoubled gammon, also called a natural gammon, to win the match perfectly. 5-4, he comes in and comes all the way out, continues. Good roll for Petko. 6-3, so the 3 is forced and he's going to come out all the way. 6-3 for Petko. He can make the 5-point. That does make a solid 4 prime, but it leaves that big stack of 5 checkers on the 6-point. 5-2. You can just come around and hit, or you can continue. You can anchor, but rather hit. Petko is originally from Bulgaria. Now he lives in South Carolina. He's looking at anchoring on the 16-point. Sometimes you just gotta want to look at, what's going to happen next. How are you going to win this game? There are 4 primary strategies to win a game in backgammon without using the double and cube. The first is a race. Just bring all your checkers around first. That's the simplest. The second is priming, which they're both trying to do. The third is attacking by getting checkers on the bar, and the third is attacking, and the fourth is a defensive strategy, like a holding game. You just try to think about what's the game plan for each player. Now 5-4. He can make his 4-point, but look, it turns out the best play is to hit loose and leave another blot in the board. Those are really hard to find. So you basically try to think about what you want to do and what your opponent wants to do, and try to maximize the chances of you doing your objective. Double 2, he's able to accomplishing your objective. So he's able to make his 5-point and make the best anchor, and minimize the possibility of your opponent accomplishing his objectives. So he's going to bring the 6 down with 13-7. He's going to hit loose behind. Frank's looking for an ace to hit. 2-1. He does. He hits. And with the 2, he can play 6-4 to spread out his checkers. Gives him more numbers to make his 3-point and his 2-point. Or he can advance the back checkers to try to hope to see daylight. But Frank is far behind in the race. He can afford to do that. (2-1) for Petko. So he can come all the way. It looks like it's better to stay back. He's coming under the gun. 6-2. So he's going to move all the way. Now Petko's looking for a 4 to hit. Double 6. Okay. So he can escape 1. And if he continues, that's going to leave a double shot. So here, this way, he only leaves a single direct shot with 4s, as well as 7s, as well as double 6 will hit. So 4 will hit, 3-1, double 2, 6-1, 5-2, and double 6. 4-1, he gets it. He hits. And if he moves 16-15, that duplicates the 3s that hit that can be used to enter. That's what he does. 5-2, so the 2 is forced, and the 5 he can pop out to the bar point. Leaves the target for Frank. Frank's looking for a 6-1 or a 2. He's looking at the position. It's not quite a double yet, despite the fact that White is a favorite. He's winning 54% of the time with 14% gammons. Black's biggest weakness, liability, are the 2 checkers on his ace point, which are out of play. But Petko still does have a solid 4 prime on the other side. Only has a single blot, which he can scramble home. He is ahead by 25 pips. So that's going to allow him to possibly scramble the back checker home, even if he gets hit. That's called slime equity. He can slime his way out. He does decide to roll 4-1. He's going to hit. This is one of the issues. When you hit, now you're going to leave a lot of return shots. So his best bet is just to clean up with 15-11 and try to make his 7 and 8 points next, despite the fact that it leaves many shots. All the 7s plus 5-3, 6-2, and 6-3. That would be 12 numbers, plus the other numbers that would hit on the other side. He does cover, tries to minimize shots. Double one for Petko, so the first one is forced, and this takes away a tempo. Takes away half of Frank's roll, so Frank is forced to come in with part of his roll before trying to attack or make his bar point. Still not a double. 4-1, so he's forced to come in with the 4, and he's going to make the bar point, blocking the 6s. Now 4-2 for Petko. So he's going to have to safety the checker on his 10 point, and he's going to try to step up to try to come out. Now Frank doubles instantly. Frank's winning a lot, but it's a very comfortable take. Petko finds a take. 6-1, good roll for Frank. He's able to point on head. Double one, so he's going to come to the edge, bring one down, and spread out his checkers. That's what I would have done, but XG likes playing 13-11. Now 3-2 for Frank. He'd like to have hit with a 4 or a 7 so he can maintain a solid 5 prime, but he can still afford to hit loose with 7-2 because he does have a stronger board, a 4-point board versus a 3-point board, and he has a purer board, meaning he has the higher board points made. Petko has a big gap between the 1 point and the 5 point on his side of the board. 6-1, he can just cover. Those gaps become very problematic. I call it the Grand Canyon. 6-5, Petko dances. 6-5 for Frank. So now he can make his ace point, or he can bring 2 checkers out. That's called the double falcon, coined by Michihito Kageyama in his book Back Checker Strategy. That's an outstanding book. So if he does make his ace point, he closes his board. Petko cannot roll, but then he's going to need a 5 or a 6, and if he doesn't roll that, there are 16 numbers that would crack his board. So if he does play this, Petko can come in with a 1 and then hit with a 6, 3, 2. So 6-1, 3-1, and 2-1 would be good, as well as double 1. 7 numbers. He doesn't like it, but he's going to have to do it. Petko's looking for one of those 7 numbers. He gets it, 3-1. So the 1 is forced, and he'll hit on the 9 point there. Good roll for Petko. 5-4, that's a good roll for Frank. He comes in and hits back. Now the gammons are back on. Petko is desperate for a 1. He performs. He gets the 3-1. So the 1 and the 3 he's going to play behind. He doesn't want to hit and leave loose blots everywhere. Another 5-4. So now he's going to make his bar point. He has a solid 6 prime. Petko's stuck. Now he's just going to try to save gammons. He doesn't want to hit. He can make his, yeah, he could do that, or he could have cleared his bar point. 4-3 is just going to come around. He can't move his back checkers. 6-3, he's going to clear his 8 point. Frank's looking to play slow to allow Petko to crunch his forward position. 5-3, he's going to come out. He's going to have to come out and then play it to 5. That's a good place. You really want spares on the high interboard points, on different points preferably. All the top plays are close here. Having spares on different points gives flexibility so that you don't roll awkward. He's looking at how his large numbers play, like double sixes, double five, 6-5, double 4, 5-4, 6-4. Six, 2, so the 6 is forced, and he'll just play 6-4. Double 4, so 1, 2, 3, and he can either bear one off or play 6-2. Looks like bearing off was safe enough, although it does leave that awkward structure. 5-2, the 5 is forced, plays the 2, 5-3. Now 4-1, so he can bear that off, and he'll have to play 6-5 so he doesn't leave an awkward 6-5 or double sixes. Or you don't want to be odd on the highest point. Although this is not good either. 4-3. So he can clear his 6 point, or he can play hitting with 5-1 and 3 off, which turns out to be better. If you clear the 6 point, it does clear from the rear, but it leaves the highest point, the highest remaining point 5, the 5 point odd, 3 checkers, and even on the next highest point. Odd even is very bad, because there are a lot of bad rolls subsequently, especially because Petko has a blot in his board. So with the 6-4, he brings it around. Petko's just trying to save the gammon. 6-1, bears one off and plays 3-2. 5-2 is forced, he's going to run, and it looks like Petko is going to be able to save the gammon here. Double 3, bears off 4 checkers. So that will get Frank to 4 points, 3 away, 2 away. When the score gets to under 5 away, 5 away, things start getting sensitive. The trailer oftentimes doubles more aggressively. So, no gammon. Resigns the single game. So now it's 5-4. 2 away, 3 away in favor of Petko. So at this score, the trailer wants to double aggressively or go for a gammonish position to win a gammon to get to 1 away, 2 away Crawford. That's gammon save, or gammon go for the opponent. Or win a double gammon for the match with 1 point extra, 1 point of overage. So now 4-3. He does the minor split, bringing one down with 13-9 and splitting the back checkers with 24-21. 6-2, good roll. He's able to come out and hit, partially escaping a checker and sending a third checker back. Double 3, so that's 1. That's 2. He's going to make that anchor, trying to save some gammons. And with the final 2, he can play 6-3, unstacking the 6 point, making another innerboard point, which is nice in the event of a potential hitting exchange. And it doesn't strip his midpoint. Now double 5 for Frank. So he can do that, and he doesn't want to continue and make the blitzing play of making the ace point because Petko has the anchor in front of that point anyway. So he's going to bring one down and bring another one down. 5-1 from the bar. He's going to make the 20-point anchor. That's the golden anchor. That was coined by Paul McGreal in his seminal work, Backgammon, published in the 70s. That's considered the Bible of backgammon. So now 4-1. Doesn't have anything productive. He has to play safely, although he doesn't like the 6 checkers on a 6 point. 6-3. So he's going to play out and down. 6-4. He's going to have to run out all the way. He's up by 18 pips before the roll and 28 after. So now Petko's looking for 4s and 2s to hit. He gets a 6-4, so he's going to hit with the 4 and look for the 6. Looks like his best bet is just to bring one down, 13-7. Now Frank has some return shots, 7s, 10s, and 11s. Nope, 9, 5-4. So he's going to come out. Now Petko has a triple shot. He can hit with 1s, 2s, and 4s as well as 6-5. Not quite a double yet. Not even close. 5-3 is a miss. He just clears safely. Now Frank's looking to double. He is up ahead. He is ahead 8 pips in the race. That's what he's counting right now. And Frank's going to just want to race. This is a non-volatile position. Not a lot of gammons here. 6-4. 6-5. Now he's going to make his next point. Now this is a borderline no double. 3-2 he's going to play down. In these holding games, you want to double when you have enough of a lead in the race and you're able to clear the midpoint. 6-2 he's going to play 2 down. Now it's not a double. 6-1, that's nice. Creates the bar point. That's another landing space for those 2 checkers on the bar point. 4-3 is going to make the board. Frank doesn't have enough of a racing lead to double yet. 5-3. He's going to play 2 behind off the 6 point. Double 2, good roll. He's able to make his 5 point. Still not a double. He's only up by 4 pips. He rolls a 6-4. He can safety one of them. He can bring one down, 13-7. But then he doesn't have a good 4. That would leave 8s. So 6-2, 5-3, and double 4 would hit. So he can't afford to do that. He's just going to clear his 8 point. 5-1 for Petko. Oh, look at that. Because of all those blots, he can afford to play out because the race is close enough. Does play safe. Now Frank's getting close to a double. He has a baseline of 86 pips with an 8 pip lead, so that's almost 10% lead. And so he has some market losers if he clears his midpoint. Double 6s, double 5s, double 4s, double 3s. Even if he rolls a 6 and covers, he's only leaving indirect. The biggest problem right now is that Frank has all those blots in the board. If he had one covered, might be a double. As it is, it's not quite a double yet. He continues. He rolls 3-2. Yep, he's just going to play 2 off the 6 point. Now 3-1 for Petko. Look at that, because of the blots in the board, it's safe to come out. Now Frank's looking at possibly doubling. This is a borderline no double. Because of the score, Frank's going to want to double a little bit more aggressively, but Petko is going to be able to take with decent winning chances. He's going to win a third of the time, and not a lot of gammons. Frank has less than 2 minutes on his clock. You can see the ZMF clock on the right side of the board. Frank's time is on the bottom. Petko's on the top. This is a Bronstein clock, so with a 3-2 he'll have to play behind. So for each move, each player has 12 seconds of delay time before going into their time bank. 6-5 is going to be forced to come out. after the delay time, your time bank starts to go down. 4-1. Look at that. He's supposed to clear his 6 point, called the lava blitz. This was termed by Roberto Litzenberger, one of my good friends, an outstanding player. Three-two. He makes his board and stays back. Now it's not quite a double yet. Not close anymore. 3-2. He plays behind. Now 4-1 for Petko. 6-1, he's going to be forced. If you lose all the time, you lose the match, so you have to be careful about that. 6-5 for Petko. Double 6, great roll for Frank. Takes a huge lead in the race. 6-1, he's going to bring one in. And now it's a double and a big pass. So now the score is 5-5, two-away. Usually what happens is one player doubles very early. If you have any market losers, and that makes a DMP, double match point. Double match point is when each player needs 1 point, or whoever wins this game wins the match, and gammons and backgammons do not count. So a two-away on a 2-cube, that's effectively DMP, double match point. You have to double early because you don't want to lose your market. You don't want if you win a point, you get to gammon save, which is a valuable score. So the trailer is gonna the opponent is gonna have to pass quickly. 4-1 reply is correctly played by bringing one down and slotting a DMP, but this is a money play. So now Frank doubles because he does have some market losers. So correct double, bear double. 5-4. He's going to run all the way. Now at DMP, the racing strategy is more important because the game must be played to its conclusion. So you can't double anybody out. So whoever bears off all their checkers first is going to win this game. Blitzing becomes devalued, and anchors are devalued at DMP. Primes are stronger and racing is stronger at DMP. You don't want to attack, you don't want to go for a blitz because you don't need gammons. At the same time, you don't need anchors because you don't need to save gammons. You just go for the best play. Now 4-3 is just going to bring things home safely. He's up by 7 pips before the roll, so he'll be up by 15 pips after the roll. (3-1) for Petko. You see how you don't need the anchor here. He could afford to stay back. But this is certainly reasonable. Double 6, so that's a great racing roll. So that's 2 of them. And because he's so far ahead in the race, he's going to have to bring his back checker out. He brings 2 down. Oh, that's going to leave his back checker very disconnected. And a lot of awkward spares on those 3 points. 6-5, so he can play the double falcon. He can make his 3-point. He's looking at that option. Petko's behind a lot of the race, but this play is best to try to contain that lonely back checker that Frank still has. 4-1, so he can't really advance. He's going to have to play slotting twice. Looks like it's a little better to play 7-3 because of that stack. Now 4-3 for Petko. He's going to make that point and try to make another point. 13-10. That bears on the bar point and the 4 point. Another double 6. So he can't afford to come under the gun by bringing that checker out. He's just going to have to build his board like this. And he's going to have to make his ace point, which is not ideal, but he really needs to unstack those checkers on his bar point. Petko's looking to prime. 3-2. There, he can make his bar point. That's a nice solid 4 prime with the back of the prime slotted. Frank's looking for an 8 to hit. No, he rolls a 3-1, so he has to advance. And then 6-5. Looks like 5-4 is better because he doesn't leave an inner board point slotted in the event of a possible hitting exchange. So now 5-2 for Petko. Yeah, he can make that point. Creates a solid 5 prime. Then Frank's going to need a 6 to escape. Oftentimes you want to hit loose off the edge of the prime, but he can't really afford to do that here. Primarily because he doesn't have a 2 to play. Frank's looking for a 6. Now he rolls a 5-3. He's going to cover and play another one off the bar point. 6-1. So he's going to hit off the edge with the ace, and then he can come down with either. Double 1. Okay, so he comes in all the way to the edge of the prime and hits a checker back. Now things are getting exciting. Petko dances with a 6-1. Frank needs a 6 to come out, or else he's going to start to crunch. He doesn't get it. 5-2. He's forced to clear his bar point. Now Petko's looking for a 3 to come in. Can he get it? No. 5-4. He dances. All right. Frank's looking for a 6. He doesn't get it. He gets a 4-1. He's going to have to plan his board. Now Petko's looking for a 3 again. 3 to come in. He gets it. He gets the 6-3. Great roll. So he comes in all the way out. Now he's a favorite. Frank's looking for a 6 again. He doesn't get it. 3-1. Plays 5-1. Now Petko's looking to attack. That was cocked. He rolls a 2-1. He can't hit. Best he can do is play 9-6. Frank's looking for a 6 again, although 6-3 would be blocked. He doesn't get it. He's going to clear his 6 point. That kills his 5, so he doesn't have any 5s to play. Petko's looking to attack again. 3-1. He's able to. Now he's able to hit loose on the edge of the prime, knocking the checker off. Frank needs a 4. But he does have a blot on the board. He doesn't get it. He gets a 6-1. The 1 is forced and there's no 6 to play. Petko's looking to make his 4 point. 5-4. He makes it. Makes a solid prime. Double 5. Frank cannot move. Now, Petko's just looking to roll his prime forward. 2-1. See, he can slot the next point in the prime to try to make it with a 6 next. He's not afraid of being hit. 6-3. He has to play on his side. (2-1). He can't bring another direct builder, so he'll bring that. So he can cover with 6s, but also 5-2 and 4-3. So that's 21 numbers that he'll be able to cover next while keeping the prime intact. Frank's in big trouble. Double 6, he can't move. Petko's looking to try to extend the prime and possibly hit the checker loose and try to get another checker back. Frank's down to less than 45 seconds on his clock. Well, Petko has over 7 minutes. One of the strategies when you're like this is to play slow to try to induce your opponent to play slow. But Frank's a strong player. He's not going to go for that. Another strategy is to try to extend the game to make it more complicated, to make it more likely that your opponent loses on time. Double 3. 3-2. He's just going to clear. Double one. He's just going to try to place his checkers so that he can cover next best. It's always nice to have a spare checker on the 6 point, but all the top plays are tough. All the top plays are close, sorry. Five-two, he's got to clear. 6-5 for Petko. So he's going to cover. Six-three, he can't move. Now Petko is looking to hit loose to try to get another checker back. That's called fishing for another checker. So he does do that. Now if Frank rolls a 1, he's forced to hit. 6-1, he gets it. So now Petko can hit another checker with a 3. If he doesn't get it, that would increase his winning chances. 6-4. Frank's looking for a 2 or a 1 to safety. No, 5-4. He cannot. Petko's looking to hit loose with a 5 or a 3. He gets a 5-4. He hits loose, and with the 4, he's going to play on the other side. Frank's looking to avoid a 1, which will give Petko a chance to hit. He doesn't. He rolls the 1. Now Petko's looking for a 3 to get another checker. He gets it. He gets a 3-2, so he hits, and with the 2, that's going to really increase his winning chances. Now he's better than a 96% favorite. Double 1, that's a great roll for Frank. At least he anchors, keeps him from being blitzed out. Petko was hoping to close the board. Now Petko is just going to bring things around. Frank's not going to be able to move most of his numbers. Like there, double 5, he can't move. 6-1. Petko's just trying to bring his checkers home, try to bring the spares onto his high inner board points to maximize his flexibility. Double 3, so 1, 2, 3, and he'll have to play 5-2, although he doesn't want to do that. 5-4, no, cannot move. 5-4, the 5 is forced. He's going to have to bring 2 checkers in. If Frank can get a double 6, that would be something. No, but he gets a 6-4. The race is relatively close. But Petko's a big favorite here. 6-3 bears off 2 checkers. 5-1, so he can try to escape. He's down by 9 pips before the roll. That'll be 3 pips, but he has a lot of wastage on his 1 and 2 points. All right, so now it's going to be a dice rolling contest. Six-1 bears off 2 checkers. 3-2. Frank's in dire trouble here. And it looks like Petko has a slight lead in the PR here, which he'll probably retain. So if Petko wins the match and wins the PR, he's going to get 2 points. Now Frank's chances are slim and none. And Slim just left town. It's virtually gin. Double 6 seals the deal. Frank resigns. Congratulations to Petko, winner of the first of 3 matches. He won the match and got the better PR. That was an outstanding match by 2 of the best players in the world. Petko Kostadinov, and Frank Frigo. Thank you for joining me. I hope you enjoyed this video from the 2024 USA UBC in San Antonio at the Texas Backgammon Championships, an outstanding event run by my good friends Bill Riles and Tara Mendocino every year on Super Bowl weekend in San Antonio. A lot of great things to do, always an outstanding event. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe and you'll be notified every time I upload a new video. Please let me know what you think in the comments below, what you'd like to see in future videos so I can work on that. Thank you again to my good friends Bill and Tara of Point Backgammon for allowing me to use this video in the commentary. Again, my book, Backgammon, Backgame Strategies, is available. There's a link in the description to where you can get it. And if you're interested in lessons, please contact me via email. My email address is in the description. I look forward to seeing you in future videos, and until then, keep rolling your dice.